Greetings survivors and friends, Shadowfrax here, and you know, here in Old Blighty, we love to talk about the weather. Anything even remotely out of the ordinary gets us going, and recent events have certainly given us a lot of material. Only a few weeks back, we went a couple of rounds with the beast from the east, which brought us at least an inch of snow. Blimey. And then just last week we had the hottest April day in nearly 70 years. Pigeons were literally bursting into flames mid-flight. It was majestic. Anyway, talking of all that, I was very pleased that this week Frostpunk finally released on Steam, and I've been looking forward to this one for a while now. So what is it? Well, it's a society survival simulator come steampunk city builder with a strong storyline and an emphasis on making some pretty racy moral decisions at times. It's set in an alternative 19th century of steampunk technology and extreme climate change, where the world has been plunged into the depths of an ice age, and you've drawn the short straw of being in charge of a group of Londoners who are looking to you to prevent them from turning into a bunch of human chalk ices. Fortunately, in your travels, you've stumbled upon a huge abandoned steam generator conveniently located in a crater of all places, and it's up to you to establish what's possibly the last city on Earth. We fled from London and crossed the sea to reach the frozen north. On the way, our convoy was hit by a blizzard and scattered. A handful of us managed to reach the site of this generator, only to find it frozen solid and abandoned. Why is no one here? Did any of our people survive the blizzard? Are there any others out there? Whatever we do, we should expect the worst, now that the world as we know it has crumbled. Well, it's not really crumbled, has it? It's more frozen. But we have to survive. Right, so we've got some immediate needs. First of all, we're going to have to get this here generator powered up, and to do that we need to get some coal and stockpile it. But we've also got 80 people who we have to provide shelter for, otherwise they're going to start getting a little bit tetchy. Around us in this crater there are a number of resources scattered. We can salvage all of this by hand, and then later we can develop buildings to help us harvest this coal, wood, and there are also steel deposits in the ground. Oh, something I want to do first, something that I've discovered, well, not discovered, but I feel helps me to start with in my strategy, is controversial, but child labour. I'm sorry kids, it's for the greater good. This is just one of the difficult moral choices you have to make in the game, and you can enact laws every now and again. For instance, we could add some tasty sawdust to food to bulk it out, how we want to treat those who are really not well. Also, when it comes to disposing of bodies, you can either build a cemetery or just dump them in a pile somewhere and shovel some snow over them, which interestingly allows bodies to be preserved for potential future use. I wonder what that could be. Anyway, let's get back to child labour, and I'm going to sign this law into effect. This now gives us the option to employ children, but only in safe workspaces. Not everywhere, but it does allow us some important slack. There, see, now we can assign children to picking up coal. We're going to need a lot of wood, and I'm going to assign, let's say, 5 people to picking up steel. I am going to build 3 sets of housing. That'll house 30 people. That still leaves 50, but we'll soon get enough wood in. Right, let's press play and watch them go to work. And it looks like we've already got enough coal coming in, so let's fire this thing up. There. Toasty. Very nice. I like the way that the snow is dynamic. It both melts when you turn the generator on and also accumulates depending on where you've got your buildings. There's quite a nice visualization available too, because if I press this button up here, you get Predator mode. Red is comfortable, orange is livable, and outside of that, it's a bit chilly. We also have a long-range forecast, and in about 3 days, it's going to go down by 2 levels to about minus 40 Celsius, which is the same as minus 40 Fahrenheit. If you didn't know. So we've already got wood coming in, and I'm going to build some more homes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that should be enough. I'm going to put a cookhouse just outside the central ring, but I'm also going to have to build a street to it. Otherwise, no one's going to be able to use it. We will need to build a hunter's hut as well. I'm just going to put that there. And in addition to this, I am going to get myself a workshop. Now, the workshop allows you to research more technology. People only work between 8 and 6. Bunch of slackers, but you can sign a law that forces them to work through the night if you want. With basic resources secured for now, we can try to rescue the people we left behind. build a beacon, scout Frostland, and save as many survivors from our expedition as possible. You'll need a workshop to design plans for more advanced buildings. Ha! Already way ahead of you. We need to assign some engineers to that. We can't assign normal workers. So the first thing that I want to actually research will be heaters, because we've got a massive cold snap coming up and these will be absolutely essential. Something else that we could do with is a medical post, and I like to build one of these in advance if I can. Some people will start feeling a bit under the weather, if you pardon the expression, when that cold snap arrives, but if we've got a medical tent, that'll stop them from getting any worse. They'll recover quite quickly. This is just a woman whose husband and daughter didn't reach the city. She thinks they're still out there and she wants to join the first scout team that we send out. So you just say, yeah. Okay, love, whatever. A child has been injured at work. Oh dear, the accident wasn't serious and happened entirely due to the child's carelessness. We can either scold the child or give them a day off. Now, I'm a nice person. Even though I've implemented child labour, I'm a really nice person. So I'm going to give this kid a day off, but only one. Because I'm nice. All of these decisions do, of course, affect our hope and discontent levels. And at the moment, we're not doing too bad. So the next thing I want to do, which will help free up people as well, is to get some gathering posts. They enable us to gather resources in a radius around them and use less workers to do so. So we've researched heaters. That's going to be ready for us when the cold snap arrives. I'm going to research a sawmill and we're going to get that up and running as soon as possible. And one more gathering post just over here. I'm going to assign people to the medical post as well. That has to be engineers, unfortunately. And here's our little hunting party going off into the cold. We can't actually zoom out anymore at the moment, but that will change. Oh yes, that will change. Okay, so now we can redistribute some of this labour. Got 14 people here, 14 children here. Let's get rid of those. Not literally get rid of them, obviously, you know what I mean. A mother has refused to let her daughter go to work, afraid she'll get injured. We could look the other way this time, but others might see it as unfair. No, we won't make an exception. Only one day off allowed, and that's been used now, so sorry, love. She'll be fine. We'll give her some high vis. So we can look inside the generator and see how much we're using and how much we're producing, which is not too bad at the moment. We've got enough coming in to start building up a stockpile, and we will need that very soon. So now we've got heaters, we can start warming these gathering posts up, and that should stop people from dropping like flies, and they definitely will start doing that if I don't, especially tomorrow. It's gonna get chilly. I love predator vision. It's very, very nice. Next, we're going to research coal thumpers, which will allow us to extract coal from the ground in large quantities. Very useful. So I'm gonna go ahead and build a sawmill, and let's build a street to it. This gathering post is now of no use to us, so we can recycle it. Now, one thing I like about this game is that each person has a name. Some of them are married, some of them have children. Some of them are children, although really they're all interchangeable. It's sort of personal, but it's not that personal. And here it comes. Oof. Right, so here in the central area, whereas before it was livable, now it's chilly. This is where we can set the central generator to overdrive. And you'll see what happens when I do that. And that means that now this is just about okay. That brings the discontent right down, which is good, but we do have to keep an eye on this level. If it gets too high, then it'll blow, and we'll have to send a small child in there to reset it or something, and that could get messy. That's coal thumpers researched. Right, let's get something else on the go straight away. Hunter's gear. It won't take too long to get, and it means they'll bring back more food, got better camouflage and snowshoes. Important always to be researching something, so there's no time wasted. Someone suggesting double rations for kids in the wake of that recent accident. No way, I'm putting my foot down. Just because one kid got injured at work doesn't mean they should all now get more food. Tell you, give them an inch and they take a foot, and before you know it, you haven't got a leg to stand on. Put a coal thumper there, and one there. That should keep us going for a nice long time. Now, I wanted to put another tent in here, and unfortunately, I can't. For some reason, it's saying I haven't got a valid placement location. I have been able to put one in there before, but it doesn't matter too much. We'll get around that. Mild frostbite. A citizen has become gravely ill. Time to open the Book of Laws and decide what we're going to do. We can either sustain life, but that means we have to keep people in beds, or we can try radical treatment and chop things off, presumably, if we need to. But even if they do become amputees, later on we'll be able to research prosthetics, so not all is lost. I'm going to go down that route. Some people might not like that, but it's tough titties, I'm afraid. What we are going to research next is the steam hub. This is like a mini generator. Come on, build those coal thumpers. Quickly, quickly. I think the old overdrive's getting close to touching cloth, so I'm going to have to turn it down when it gets to daytime, I think. Really sorry about this, chaps. Okay, we've researched the steam hubs. Next on my list, I believe, I will get the beacon on the go. Where is it? There. This will allow us to search for people and other things outside of our crater. Just going to risk going into overdrive again for a little bit. Keeping on top of discontent. Hope is nearly halfway. We've got 5 sick, 1 being treated but not really ill. Nobody's died yet, so that's good. I think we might get away with it. Uh-oh, generator stress level critical. Quickly turn that off. Ooh, that was close. Here we go. That's better. My plan is to build an area of housing out this way. So I want a steam hub probably about here. Beacon has been built. Here we go. Deploy the balloon. Alright, so this is really cool. So now we've got the beacon up, we can see what's going on in the outside world, and this is the area that we're in. There are a couple of points of interest. There's the Lost Expedition, or at least its last known location, and there's also a crash site, but I think our priority is to get more people in, so I'm going to send the scouts to the expedition first. And that's going to take them 10 hours, so while we wait, the steam hub has melted the snow around it, which means we can now build comfortably in this area. Something else that I want to get is another medical post. We've got sick people and they're not being treated. Scouts have reached the Lost Expedition. Let's go and have a look. We can either choose to escort the survivors back to the city, or we could just send them back, but some of them might die on the way. I'm going to escort them though, because we need as many bodies as we can get. So I'm going to need to build 4 sets of tents for them. And now we've researched drawing boards. We can get a sawmill upgrade, wall drill, which allows us to drill into the sides of our crater and access frozen wood in there. What I want to get next is a steelworks though, because we're going to start using a lot more of that. And in about 20 minutes we're going to have some fresh meat turning up. I mean we're going to have some new people turning up. And here are our survivors. Looks like they've brought some supplies with them as well. Reunions. It's heartwarming to see families reunited after so many hardships. But shouldn't there be other settlements nearby? Right, let's assign jobs to these people. And I think it's time we send our scouts out to the next point of interest, which is the sturdy shelter. While we're waiting for the scouts to get to the next location, that's going to take them 15 hours now, I'm going to start by building a steelworks. If I place it here, it's going to destroy some of the wood that I can later farm, so I'm going to stick it here. I'm also now researching a hothouse because I've realized that I've not got enough food coming in to feed all of these hungry mouths. Captain, some of our people are here to talk about the lack of food. We're going to have to put in another hunter's thingamy-bob so that we can get some raw food in the meantime, whilst we build this hothouse, because that's not going to be ready just yet. Go forth and hunt small furry things. We have people waiting for burgers and stuff. Once you can get past the fur, I'm sure they taste delicious. Look at them just disappearing off into the snow. Where do they go? We do not know. Hey, that rhymes. The scouts have reached the sturdy shelter. The shelter is comfortable and well equipped with emergency supplies. There's a notice posted by the heavy round door to all scientists. If you use any supplies, remember to notify the quartermaster upon your return to the city. This means there's another city out there. A signpost by the trail points in 2 directions. London, 1,934 miles. Home, 27 miles. And we've also discovered a steel bridge, so we can take these resources. That's 101 food, 194 wood, 1 steam core, very useful. We'll do that. And while we're out here, I think we might as well visit this place here, this steel bridge. Doesn't look like it's too far away. The problem that I've got now is that I don't have enough people to fill all the jobs I've got, so I'm gonna have to start looking to be more efficient. Yes, we've researched the hothouse. Okay, so I'm gonna get one of these built straight away. Slap that there. We've just used our first steam core. Steam cores are a necessary component in advanced technology. Steam cores are a limited resource, so you have to actually go out and find them. Right, hopefully, people will start getting fed now because We do have 128 food rations, which is enough for everybody. Scouts have reached the bridge to Winterhome. Wow, we stopped at the edge of a deep, wide ravine, marvelling at the steel bridge spanning it, even more so at the huge automaton sweeping snow from the roadway. It would be possible to send the machine back to our city, or disassemble it for resources. I'm definitely going to send it back. I want that automaton. No way I did. What would I get? Well, you'd get 2 steam cores for dismantling it, but no, I'm going to send it to the city. The hungry were fed. Most of the hungry have had a meal and are somewhat satisfied. For the time being, hope rises. That's what happens when you manage to fulfill your promises. Discontent is actually very low. People are content. Quite happy with the way this is going, actually, at the moment. The workers who were riding in this convoy told us they were heading for the city of Winterhome. We were supposed to follow the signal from the beacon, but we couldn't pick it up, they say. We tried to follow a search pattern to find it, but we ran out of fuel. Oh no! 18 engineers and 27 workers. And we're also going to have an automaton with us within just over a day. It's gonna get pretty busy. Here we are. Scouts have returned safely to the city with a load of stuff. This means that we can fill up all of our positions, sticking into overdrive. Let's just make sure that all these heaters are on. Hello? Here it is. Automatons can replace entire manual labour crews. They work around the clock with short breaks to refuel at the generator. And we can research upgrades to raise their efficiency and capability. So this opens up a whole new area for us. I see. Well, I guess we could assign it to the steelworks. So let's get those people out of there. Also means we don't have to heat it, I presume. I wonder if we'll be able to find many more, or whether we'll have to start making them ourselves. Just having a nice recharge. So, concluding thoughts. Frostpunk is a well-made society survival sim. If you like steampunk and city building, this may be for you. I can't give a full review because I've only scratched the surface here, but if it carries on at the same pace, then I'll be very happy. My only gripe is that at some point I'll eventually get to the end game, although the campaign is quite long and there are extra scenarios to unlock. Workshop support on Steam would be nice at some point too. Thanks to the developers for giving me a copy to show you. It's out on Steam now for 25 quid or about $30, and there's a 10% discount if you own this war of mine. Everyone's money's worth is different, of course, but for the content here, I think I'd be happy with the price. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. If this vid is popular enough, I'll consider doing more. Come and join me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and my Steam group if you get a chance. Slap the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll catch you all soon. But in the meantime, keep calm and stay frosty. Cheerio.